and welcome back to another episode of Footy Social. It's been a while, but it's also been a while since we last spoke about England, and more importantly, did our 23-man squad. We thought because it's the international break at the moment, we'd give it another go, and hopefully, but it'd be interesting to see what changes and what's different with our squad from last year. Dan, the editor's going to put our Euro 2021 squad up on the screen now.
Yep.
So you can see this is actually a 26-man squad because they changed it. But we're back down to 23, which is going to make it even harder. Our guest today is Louis, who's my brother. He is also a West Ham fan. So that means Cresswell, Dawson, probably Mark Noble all going to make the squad.
Yep. Antonio, if he hadn't changed to Jamaica.
Antonio. All going to join Rice. Obviously Bowen, who about him, he could actually make it. And we've got, you can see this wad of paper. There's probably about 70 or 80 names.
That's quite a lot. The issue is we've just kept the same list as the Euros and just added new people.
If you like, mainly 15 more.
Yeah. So
we probably should get started. First name, Emil Smith. So let's have, before we start, not going in. Maybe
Defo. Yeah. So I think Smith Rowe immediately is almost there. We'll just have to see what other options we've got.
I don't think he does get in, but I think if injuries could allow him to go, but at the moment I don't think he's in it. But injuries could allow him.
I mean, I agree. He's definitely in with a shout. We'll come back to him later. Alex McCarthy, as he doesn't play for Southampton anymore, does he?
I don't think so. Yeah.
So he's definitely not going.
I
Matty Cash is Polish, so
it
wasn't Polish last time. Harrison Reed, I mean, never.
No.
Unless Fulham come up another madness.
I think he is. He's about 30 now, anyway, isn't he? Harrison Reed.
Fulham have to have like an unreal start to the season.
Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No.
5 years ago.
I'd have loved him to, but
he's
dropped off.
Injury prone. The big injuries ruined him.
Yeah.
Sam Johnston.
No, he's fourth choice, isn't he?
I mean, he's not there. He's been poor for West Brom. West Brom fans don't really like him anyway.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones, not played enough, has he?
Probably not. No. And I think there's other midfielders that have overtaken him this season as well.
Yeah, and if you look at it, he might be there in November if he has an unreal next 6 months, but not.
I can't see him going.
No.
Matt Targett, no. Newcastle now haven't really recognised him.
No. I mean, I feel like he's probably a maybe for the left backs because I think left backs is kind of a weak position.
Yeah, he was all right. Jack Harrison.
I think there's just too many wingers, isn't there?
Yes.
I mean, again, Luke Ayling probably has the same issue.
Yes.
Way too many fullbacks here, especially at about 30 now.
Tammy Abraham.
I think he's definitely in the maybes.
Yeah. Doing well at Roma.
Yeah, I think if he's like the best sort of goal-scoring striker, because you sort of Kane is more of an all-round now. If you just want a pure number 9, he's probably the best England have at the moment in terms of on form. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's off form. It would have been Calvert-Lewin.
Serie attacks, but
Serie attacks, yeah.
Carl Darlow.
I mean, it's not even worth mentioning.
Tomori
caused the most uproar, didn't it, at the last internationals? So he was probably the one who people were most surprised not to see in there. Obviously, top of the league with AC Milan, playing I think basically every minute for them, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
Lookwood's
Nigerian now, so that's a no.
Yeah.
Eze, I think, is probably going Nigerian
as well.
Yeah.
James Justin. I mean,
James
he's
Justin.
injury prone.
He was so good before he got that. Was it the ACL?
I can't even remember the last time I saw him play football.
I think he's back now, but
he came on against us, I'm pretty sure, and then he got injured in the next game.
Oh dear.
I think just that big injury put him in the no pile. But you never know what he might.
He's still young, and if he
we've got this isn't our final squad. We're going to do this again in like 6 months' time and see like a month before see what changes, see what injuries they have. Jordan Henderson, I mean,
he's a maybe now. I mean, he's gone off the ball so much this season.
I think
it'll be his last tournament, but he'll go. Yeah. But he's in the maybes. Ward-Prowse again.
Maybes, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go, getting to the ones we picked last time. Ben Chilwell now.
See, that's awkward because again, he's out at the moment, and you don't know what he's going to be like when you come back. Like it might be a James Justin situation where it takes him 6 months to get back up to speed, and at that point, it's too late, isn't it?
He's definitely ahead of Matt Targett though.
Yeah, Matt Targett's in there.
Chilwell's
in there.
I mean, Chilwell's going to be back for pre-season, so you sort of
he has enough. Kyle Walker.
Oh, this 100% going. I think.
Actually, can we just do that's just wall one because I don't know how it. And then we can just narrow it down again when it gets.
Yeah.
You got to put like the Harry Kane.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
We just put
the easy ones.
We just put maybes and definitely.
Yeah,
we just put all there, and then they just know there. So I don't know. We've changed it basically on how we're going to do it. Grealish is in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kane can go into the maybe pile. Luke Shaw is in the maybe pile. Esri Konsa, maybe pile.
I think that the issue is we sort of had Konsa as like 5th choice, but I think Tomori's overtaken Konsa this season.
Yeah.
I know, but I'd like to talk about Konsa.
Yeah, no, keep him in the maybe, but
depends how good a start next season.
No, he's gone to
Maitland-Niles, I mean,
Roma.
Roma hate him.
Don't do they?
Yeah, they really hate him already.
McNeil.
Dwight
not done much,
McNeil.
has he?
No, he's gone off the
Especially
ball.
Burnley go down.
Wilson injured, isn't he?
Just gets injured every 6 minutes, yeah.
Callum Wilson, that is. Rob Holding, no.
No.
Bamford,
Again, hasn't played this season.
too
Yeah.
injury prone.
Yeah.
He won't get in. Hudson-Odoi.
He's
no.
Ghanaian.
Isn't he?
Yeah. Harvey Barnes.
He's in
I
there.
like him.
Yeah,
I
he
like
can go in with a
Barnes.
shout.
It's just-
Harvey Barnes.
I think Harvey Barnes is sort of like Rashford, is as good as Rashford was before Rashford became bad, if you get me. Like, he's that sort of really direct goal-scoring winger that I think England are lacking.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's got flair, but I just don't. He just doesn't. But he doesn't perform in big games. He's always
No.
scoring against teams like Leeds.
Yeah, you wouldn't start Harvey
Norwich.
Barnes in the quarter-final.
No, you wouldn't bank on him to. Harvey Barnes is a player I'd give a go against Ivory Coast in a friendly to see what he
Yeah,
can do.
you sort of sub him on just for a bit of
Yeah,
pace
yeah.
and legs off the bench, but I think yeah.
Anthony Gordon, I think it's too.
I think he's a baller, but I don't think
It's too.
It's too early,
Too
isn't
early
it?
for him. Yeah.
And it's a hard, and it's sort of, you don't know at the moment whether he's standing out because everybody else at
Yeah.
Everton is so
So
bad.
Because remember when they played you at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, he was their best
Him
player.
and Brantford.
Yeah.
Brentford scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everton.
Conor Gallagher
Yeah, I think he's got to be in the
Oh yeah,
shout.
sorry, he is.
is on the shot. Yeah, Damari Gray,
Again,
same issue as Anthony Gordon,
does he look good
slightly.
because he's the best of a bad bunch?
Yeah.
And
But even Damari Gray he's gone off since December. Anthony Gordon has carried on, so I think Gordon's ahead of Gray if we're talking about.
Yeah.
But neither of them are getting anywhere near the squad, so it doesn't matter.
Noni Madueke. I mean, I would be lying if I said I watched much of him.
No.
Um,
It's a bit of a road, yeah. But I sort of like when the English talent goes overseas
Abroad.
and starts
He was
proving
good,
themselves.
yeah.
It's
He was
worked
good-
out for
He
Sancho.
was good in
hasn't it?
under-21s, considering I think he's like.
yeah, he's doing well in
19.
21s, but again, I think it's just too near for
Yeah,
him.
he needs to get moved
Yeah.
to like a bigger league.
Yeah, a big move for him. Mark Guehi, he's definitely in with a shout.
Yeah, he was in the
Palace.
last internationals, obviously, wasn't
Elise, I mean, we've got him
Michael
in.
Eze.
We don't know if he's going to declare for England, but he might be French. I
I-
don't see him getting anywhere near the current squad. He looks like a good little player though.
he? He does look like it looks like Vieira's sort of understanding that how young he is, and he's sort of managing his minutes, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because realistically, he should be starting every single week. He just doesn't start every week.
No.
Just it looks like they're just sort of
Um,
managing him.
Yeah, hopefully he comes on leaps and bounds if he stays English.
Yep. Michael Keane. I mean,
No,
is he been the worst centre back in the league this year?
he's got to be up there. I mean,
He's gotta be,
some of the defending. You know, that Foden goal where he was that.
It was unbelievable. He just stood there and watched
it.
it. Well, a centre back coming up will probably also be in the shout of worst defender in the league, but
Well, not what Ben White.
not Ben White. No, I'm on about
Ben White's in,
Sonny.
in with a shout.
Yeah.
Hamza Chowdhury not
Never
done enough.
going, no.
Nope.
Callum Chambers for me
Nope.
not done enough.
Scored a nice goal though, didn't he? It was against Leeds when they won 3-0.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Is that in the league? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I again, I don't see how
I
he's at
don't-
Arsenal.
No, he's not.
Dele Alli, it's sad really.
He's
I
at Villa.
think.
Yeah. I mean, considering Dele Alli was like,
Oh, Callum Chambers at Villa.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
it's
sorry.
permanent now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying the fact that Dele Alli was like basically our main man last World Cup with Harry Kane, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Like he was the star, and now it's just this, and it's
he's
only been
still
4
only
years.
young. He's still
Yeah.
what 25. I mean, he can still.
He won't though. He won't ever come
He's
back.
done the great Jack Grealish. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's.
He's gone for.
I mean, the one club you wouldn't move to right now to try and revive your career is Everton.
Yeah. I mean, Van der Beek's finding out the exact same issue as well, isn't he?
I would have moved somewhere else. He will. He's only. I mean, it's permanent.
Yeah, it's permanent.
He
Yeah.
won't stay if they go down though.
No, yeah, he will. He'll go abroad probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Ings. He's
Poor-
in with
He's had a terrible season, though, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Realistically.
But he's in the conversation.
Yeah.
This might be my bias coming through, but I'd say Craig Dawson is in with the conversation.
But the thing is, if he wasn't, he he's had a better season last year, and he wasn't near our squad, so I don't think we can.
No, I
really
think he's been better this season.
I think
Has he?
he's been better this season.
Okay, obviously, you lot know him better than I do, but I've noticed him more last
If he was
season.
like 26, then I'd be wanting.
Yeah,
to
if
get
he was
him, but
younger.
he's-
He's 29, 30. I think he's also Moyes tax.
Yeah, I was going to say, the issue is all of your centre-backs look good, and when it happens like that, you've got to think sometimes, is it just the manager coaches a really good defence?
Yeah.
It's kind of like last season when our back three, and it was sort of like Christensen, like even Chalobah at the start of the season was looking really good, but he's looked suspect recently in the back four.
He works for us, but
he went down with Watford, didn't he? So
I'd say he's on the same level as Connor Cody personally, but Connor Cody obviously.
I don't think I'd put either of them in, to be honest.
Tarkowski, no.
Tarkowski's gone off the boil.
Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek not even worth talking about anymore.
Off the boil.
Yeah.
Ben Godfrey.
I mean, the fact that he's
shining light at Everton, but is it because
the issue is we all want to see him as a centre back, and he's been played right back and left back for about 2 years now.
Yeah,
so it's just
getting in, is he?
Yeah, it's just a waste of time, really.
Solly March.
I mean, if we play in a very specific, Graham Potter was the manager and they played a back three, maybe, but other than that, no.
I'd like to see Graham Potter as the manager one day.
Yeah.
Lallana, no.
Nope.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Trent he was a banker. Yeah.
He didn't actually get into our last squad because he showed it earlier. He wasn't in. Lamptey,
I think he's got a chance.
He's got a chance. I mean, he won't get in, but we can talk about him.
Yep.
Livermento deserves to be talked about.
Definitely.
So
does Tyree Mitchell.
Yep.
So does Dewsbury Hall.
I think Dewsbury Hall. I watched him play the other week.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
He's sort of like he's kind of like Maddison with a bit of defensive awareness about him.
Yeah.
He's a bit more of a rounded Maddison.
Dan Burn, no.
No.
As I said, I think Webster's been the better Brighton centre back who's coming up anyway.
I think Kilman's the sort of same with. I think it's the same with Craig Dawson. Sort of, he's working well in that defence.
But Kilman's younger.
So I think Kilman's got more of a shout, but I think that's what he's doing with Wolves. He's working in that defence.
I guess what you would say is Kilman's left-footed, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's sort of if you want a left-footed centre back, we've got very few options.
Oliver Skip,
no,
definitely not.
Just Harry Winks, isn't he?
Adam Webster.
Yeah.
Should we whack him in the conversation?
I think definitely. I think he's had a really good season, and I think Dan Burn gets the acclaim because he's tall. Like, I'm not even joking. Just because he stands out more. Trevor Chalobah, if this was sort of December, I'd be saying 100% he's been one of the best. He's gone off the board. He got injured in January, and he hasn't really been the same since.
I would say no for Chalobah.
No, it's a no, but he's had a respectable season.
Harvey Elliott, I'd like him to be in the conversation.
I think he should be in the conversation.
I've been really impressed. I've been really impressed with him every time I watch him, which annoys me because he is quite an irritating person, isn't he?
Hopefully, he just doesn't get any more injuries though.
Well, he had one big one, and it wasn't really his fault. It's not like he was injury prone. Really.
No, and he's obviously so young, so he just needs to sort the attitude out.
Yeah. Jed Spence,
bit of a rogue shout.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't.
But I think we can talk about him. He's been probably one of the best players in the Championship.
I think it's one of them rare occasions where a player hasn't actually stood out for league performance. He stood out because of the FA Cup, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone started paying attention to him because of the FA Cup run they're on, and he scored that banger in the league.
And now he's going to move to a Premier League team maybe for 20 million, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he probably deserves it for performances. He's looked like he's
on loan from Middlesbrough, isn't he?
No,
he's on loan,
Middlesbrough at Forest,
yeah. But he's not actually from Middlesbrough. I think they got him from like QPR or something. George said, but
really?
So we'll have to see how he gets on in the Prem next year because I imagine he will be in the Prem.
One day maybe.
Yeah.
With Kyle Walker aging, Luke Thomas.
Sort of James Justin.
Lack of
left.
Should we just put him in or?
I think so, but I think he'll probably come out.
Oh
yeah, 100%.
But I'd say he's worth the conversation.
Yeah. Jacob Ramsey now. He was sort of like an inside joke on the Footy Social because of a certain guest who's still banned.
Yeah.
But much to our annoyance, he's actually a good player, isn't he?
I'd still say. So, I mean, if you've not seen the video, it's our boy saying that he's better than Martinelli, which I'd still stand by. He's not.
And at the time, it was a very
ridiculous.
Shout.
Now it's probably a good conversation.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd give him a.
I'd definitely give him. I think the issue with Jacob Ramsey is that we still don't know what he is truly yet.
Yeah.
Like Bellingham is like the same age or younger. We know exactly what Bellingham's all about.
He reminds me of slightly worse. Conor Gallagher.
I think for Ramsey in there, I quite like him. I like watching him.
Yeah.
Jared Bowen, of course.
I think Jared Bowen's a banker, isn't he? Actually.
And then his mate Declan Rice.
Yeah.
It's probably him and Harry Kane are probably the two biggest bankers in the team. Isn't they?
John Stones.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips, I mean, not in, but he's worth the conversation.
Yeah.
Harry Winks, no.
No.
Fraser Forster, put him in.
Fourth choice maybe, but
Yeah.
Cresswell, I mean, if Luke Thomas is there, Cresswell gets in for me.
Yeah.
but
He's not going to go, but he's worth a conversation. Mason Holgate,
no.
Terrible.
Nick Pope is in.
Yep.
Jordan Pickford,
Yeah.
Yep.
Dean Henderson.
I mean, he just hasn't played.
No,
Has he?
I think he's worth a conversation.
I think
I think he is, yeah.
it's him or Forster actually, fourth choice.
Calvert-Lewin is in.
Yep. Just purely off what he
Ian
brings rather
Sterling,
than his
no,
season.
No, we'll talk about him later.
Yep.
Mings, I mean, in.
He has to be because he starts in
Yeah.
every game. He
Yeah.
comes in every squad.
Mason Mount, not been the greatest season.
Yeah, he's
but
100% in there.
Mason
we'll talk
Mount.
about it later. Phil Foden.
We'll just move on.
He who shall not be named. If you can figure that out for yourself.
Yep. He's not from Iceland.
No.
Let's
In
move on.
fact, he gets his own category over there. So I don't look at that name for the next. Now look at him like upside down.
Yep.
Reece James.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, Judy.
Jude Bellingham, definitely. Now we're obviously getting to the names we picked.
Yeah.
Now-
Maguire.
Yeah, Harry Maguire will have to have a conversation about.
Rashford will have to have a conversation about.
Maguire and Rashford we're going to have serious conversations
It's
about.
going to be interesting. Sancho. I think the rest of these
Same
getting.
with Sancho. Lingard.
Lingard.
No, he's not going.
He ruined his own career not
Yeah,
pushing
he
for
should have
that
come
move,
to
didn't
us.
he?
Yeah.
He could have
He might
pushed
do
for
this
it.
summer in, but he's still Trippier.
Yeah, Trippier definitely.
Dyer. I
Dyer.
think we talk about Dyer.
He's been.
I think
alright
in
for
Conte's
Tottenham.
back three,
Yeah.
he's been their best centre back, but that's because it's in a Conte back three.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, but he's in the top three.
Wan-Bissaka is a no.
Wan-Bissaka,
for
a
me.
complete waste of time.
Yeah, no.
I tried to tell Man United fans about a year ago that he's a complete waste of time. They didn't listen, and now they've all
Connor
realised.
Cody's in.
Yeah.
Ivan
Yeah.
Toney's worth the conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
Kyle, so is Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yep.
Tavernier, he's doing well for
I
Rangers.
don't think he's got to be worth.
I think he's worth
I think he's worth
conversation.
conversation, but he's 100.
Thing is, the difference with Tavernier this season is that he's doing it in Europa League
Yeah, that's why I
against
think
teams
he's
like
worth it.
Dortmund, like
He's
which
30. I mean, he's 30. If he was 21, he'd have his cap.
yeah.
Madison, I think he's had a quiet.
James Maddison's just too inconsistent, and you can't really
He's worth the
count on.
conversation because of his
Yeah,
talent.
you just can't count on inconsistent players
So
in
Ollie
tournaments like that.
Watkins,
Ollie Watkins,
Saka.
Saka's definitely.
and last but not least,
I cannot
You
believe
couldn't
that that's
write
the
this,
last
could you?
name.
Boyd was trying to get him in the last squad. This is why he's been banned.
Yeah,
It's Ross Barkley.
it's just a complete waste of time.
So we sort of halved it there. We halved them.
I think we still got probably about 40 names over
Yeah,
there.
I mean, so we've been going for 70 minutes. We're getting there.
We're getting there. So I think now we just find the names that are 100%. So I think that.
So we've now parred them into their respective positions. We'll start off with goalkeepers. There's the least amount of goalkeepers. We've got to pick three.
It's quite easy.
5.
Pickford, Pope, Forster, Ramsdale, Henderson.
So just take out
There's two
Forster and
guarantees.
Henderson.
There's two guarantees really.
I mean, those two,
Pickford
Pickford,
and
and Ramsdale.
Ramsdale.
It's not really. And then I think the third choice at the moment is Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
And
And
then
so in fact, he's gone down. He's about to go down though.
we'll
Yeah.
keep these on the side.
And he also
for-
Pope also can't kick a football, can he? I mean, every time he
Yeah.
plays for England, he commits like a blunder
Yeah.
with his feet. But
Pope's in.
he's not going to play in a minute anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
And
matter.
we keep these on the sideline for the
Yep.
what's it called, the backup.
I doubt we'll waste a reserve spot on a goalkeeper, but you know.
Right, so we've got quite a few defenders here.
Mm.
Ben White, Mark Guehi, John Stones, Matt Targett, Ben Chilwell,
Yep.
Aaron Cresswell, Esri Konsa, Fikayo Tomori, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire, Adam Webster, Tyrone Mings, Reece James, Luke Shaw, Eric Dyer, Tariq Lamptey,
Oh my God, we've got so
Tyree Mitchell, Valentino Livramento, James Tavernier. We should have put James Tavernier out.
Yeah.
Max Kilman, Luke Thomas, Kyle Walker-Peters, Connor Cody, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let's start off the centre backs. We've got, I reckon, 4 centre halves.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think John Stones is 100%.
John
John
Stones.
Stones is in.
Yep.
Let's get
Definitely.
rid of 3. The 3 are getting rid of are
I mean, I would get rid of Gurhey. I think it's a nice way. We've sort of just locked him down so he doesn't go to Ivory Coast, and he's had a good season.
He's been friendly, but yeah.
Yeah, he's So it's just too early, really, isn't it?
I think Kilman as well is same sort of
young list, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd go Webster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's at least had a good season.
I'd also take out Konza.
Yeah.
And then these are the. These are the.
And they got pick 4 from here.
4 from these. 3. We've got those.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I go as my second one. Yeah, I think we left us on me picking Tomori.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got Stones and Tomori as
I haven't actually watched much of Tomori, to be honest, but I've just read.
But I've heard good things.
Yeah, basically.
And then the next two.
I mean, I'm going for Ben White. I think he's had a good season. He'll have a lot of confidence, and at the end of the day, the issue with Ben White is that he's gonna have an issue with big physical strikers like Ivan Toney. It doesn't really happen in international football, does it? No one plays like long ball, and everything in international football is so slower and more ground based.
My choice is Harry Maguire. I think
I'd go Maguire personally. Always good for England.
Always good.
Yeah.
Always shows up in tournaments. He'll start.
The thing is, I'm happy for him to go, but you bench him to start to prove him, to sort of teach him a lesson. Well, the issue, this is 6 months away, isn't it? He might finally. He always says that Harry Maguire has 6 months where he's terrible, and then 6 months where he's good again.
I mean, we'll see. This could all change in November. It could be injuries. This is injury free.
Yeah. I just think he deserves to get punished for a bad season.
I think Cody's good to have in the background because I think White won't play. I think Cody's much better to have around the place.
But I think Ben White's the better centre back.
I know, but both of them probably won't play many minutes. I think these are free.
The thing is, I don't think if we take it tomorrow, I don't think Tomori would play many minutes.
No, it'll be Maguire and Stones.
Yeah.
But then you go one. I'll go Cody, and then you go one of Tomori or White.
Yeah.
Just because. Cody's the new Eric Dyer, really, isn't he?
Yeah. We know realistically Tyrone Mings will go. He doesn't deserve to go, but Mings will go.
Sadly, I mean, I don't. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't.
Hopefully not. I mean, yeah, he's error prone. He's clumsy.
I think Eric Dyer could easily bring himself back into the squad.
I think he's sort of. I think
he's had his time, hasn't he?
Southgate's done him.
So White or Cody?
I think Cody's a bit different as well. Can play in the back, great in the back 5 if you need him. And I'd just say Ben White's young and he's got tournaments ahead of him to play.
Take Cody, just put Ben White as one of the 6 reserve. Then he can be our defender.
Yeah, he can be our defender. Right. Left backs.
So I think we go 2 here, don't we?
I don't know, maybe 1 because if you take, I take Trippier as well, who can also play left back.
I was thinking Kyle Walker-Peters for that exact reason.
Yeah.
I think I prefer Kyle Walker-Peters at left back than Trippier.
He'll choose Trippier over Walker-Peters.
Yeah, Trippier's had an injury.
I think Luke Shaw, and we're back. So we just put Luke Shaw as our first left back.
Yep.
I know he's had a poor season for Man United, but he again always looks good for England. Even in the last 2 internationals, he looks fairly decent. I think he's trustworthy to have in.
Yep.
I think we can get rid of Target and Thomas
and Cresswell.
And then it's between Tyreek Mitchell and Ben Chilwell for me.
Yeah. Well, I think the issue is Chilwell is just the better left back, isn't he? Yeah. But it's just you don't know how he's going to react to the injury, but you assume
if he comes back well, it's got to be Ben Chilwell.
Yeah. And also, I don't think Mitchell has an attacking bone in his body, really. No. He's sort of like the left back version of Wan-Bissaka. Palace just love producing defenders, don't they?
Yeah.
And on that argument we had about left foot centre backs, Luke Shaw can in the back 3 play as
back. Technically. I mean,
have we played a back 3 recently?
Yeah, we did the other day.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. And now on right backs, I mean the names here are very like.
I mean Trent and James are basically the bankers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're the best right.
And Walker,
And Walker.
I think you have to take those 3. Walker, James, Trent, but do you take a 4th?
Yeah. The thing is, Walker is just you'd play Walker against if you play France in a semi-final, you start Kyle Walker. If you're playing any other team, you start Trent or James, don't you?
Yeah. I think they're the 3.
Because I think Walker's the best to defend against a big boy like Mbappe or something.
I think they're the 3 you take.
Yeah.
And I
personally only have Trippier I'd put Trippier in there.
I don't think you need that many defenders.
No, I'm not taking any more because it's a 23-man squad. If it was 26, I maybe think differently.
Yeah.
But I think as the third right back to call up if there's injury, it's between Walker Peters and Trippier for me.
Yeah, just with the versatility.
Lamptey, Livramento, and Tavernier all done really well, but I think they're just
Livramento will be in the team in a couple of years. So.
Yeah,
both, and Roy Lamptey as well.
Yeah.
And Livramento can play left back as well, but obviously he's just not ready
he
yet.
does it for Simon, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So should we put both of those as backups? Let's pick one. Walker Peters or Trippier? Let's vote. Louis,
Trippier.
Dan.
I would go Kyle Walker Peters. So you get it.
I'd go Kyle Walker Peters.
Okay, let's sign and
I
vote.
think Trippier's big injury, and I mean he's done so much for England, so you can't sort of knock him.
Yeah, you got to think about the future.
So we have
as well
1,
sometimes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 11 spots for midfielders and attackers.
I
Which
think
is,
make it 4 midfielders, centre mids.
yeah, 4 of these.
Because basically all the attackers play midfield as well.
Yeah.
Don't they, really. So I think
we
the obvious
have-
one is
So I read them out for everybody.
yeah, go for it.
We've got Jordan Henderson, James Maddison, Conor Gallagher, Jacob Ramsey, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Jude Bellingham, Harvey Elliott, Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, James Ward-Prowse, Mason Mount. For me, instantly, Declan Rice has to be in there.
Bellingham.
Pardon?
And Bellingham.
Yeah,
And Jude Bellingham.
yeah. I think Rice and Bellingham, you want to start them two in the midfield, don't you?
There are
Really?
two. That would definitely start it for me.
I think
Let's remove some now. I think
let's remove
Maddison not done enough.
Dewsbury Hill's.
Dewsbury
I
Hall,
do like.
he looks good for the future.
Yeah.
I think Jacob Ramsey, another one, looks good for the future, but it's
Yeah.
not quite his time.
And as I said, James Maddison's a bit older, and he's just not. Once you get to his sort of age, and you're not a consistent player, you're probably
think
never
take
going to be
out Calvin
consistent, are you?
Phillips.
Harvey Elliott.
Harvey Elliott's a bit young as well.
So I mean, it leaves us with a choice of 2 out of Henderson, Gallagher, Mount, Ward-Prowse, and Phillips.
Well, I mean, you have to take Mount, don't you?
Yeah,
And that's not
Mason
just a
Mount's
Chelsea
in,
fan.
Mason Mount's in. I mean,
I'd personally
If
think he has to take Henderson.
I don't know, because the thing is, Liverpool fans don't even want him starting anymore. Like, I just think his legs have
by
gone.
the time Christmas comes around as well,
He'll be even older. Yeah, I think his legs are going already.
And there's enough leaders now in that squad. Declan Rice is the leader.
Declan Rice is basically captain,
Like,
isn't he?
in the Euros last year, you were sort of thinking Henderson, you want him for that leader because Declan Rice had never played in a tournament before.
Yeah.
Mason Mount had never played in a tournament before. Same with a lot of other players. So you thought, let's have Jordan Henderson in just to like sort of coach him from the sidelines. But now they're good enough to do it themselves.
Yeah.
I think that if
have
you're not
Jordan
having
Henderson.
Henderson, then there's no way Phillips is in there.
No. I mean, it's,
He's
again,
been to injury.
I don't think he's even played. I can't remember the last time he played either. But he was brilliant in the Euros.
So we're getting rid of. He was. But I just think now Bellingham's just surpassed him. And
Yeah.
He could have a big move in the summer and hopefully not to Villa. I don't know why to go there. But
Yeah.
but for now, this might change in November. But for now, right now, Phillips and Jordan Henderson both are not in.
I think I'd leave Phillips as the
As
reserve.
No,
No, I put
No?
of these two as the
I'll
reserve.
put one of these two as the reserve. Who do
I
maybe
think
don't
I
pick.
personally the reason why I take Ward-Prowse because
Conor Gallagher or James
Conor Gallagher
Ward-Prowse.
loves running forward and we don't need Dan centre mid because we've got so much forward.
Yeah. Gallagher's not really a midfielder. I don't even know. Gallagher's not really an attacker or a midfielder. He's just sort
Don't
of.
really know what he is.
He just sort of runs about and just does stuff. And like it's fun for a team like Palace, but you don't know how he's going to translate it to like a elite. Well, I'm not going to say Gareth Southgate has an elite system, but these are elite footballers playing elite level football. You don't know how Gallagher's going to translate that until he has a season, until he tries a season at Chelsea next year. And I think James Ward-Prowse is just, I mean, it's such a cliche, but he'll take the corners, he'll take the free kicks.
Yeah.
And he's just a
And he
steady,
can score a lot of set pieces.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
and he's just a steady midfielder, isn't
I'm
he?
just looking at that, and there's only one really. I mean, Declan Rice.
Ben
is
White
the
can play
CDM.
Ben White can play CDM though.
I don't think
I
you
wouldn't
want.
do
I
that
don't think you want to
in the World
experiment
Cup.
that in a World Cup. No.
So let's vote on these two. Louis.
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, I'll go Ward-Prowse as
I
well.
also agree with Ward-Prowse.
Yep.
Conor Gallagher goes over here in honourable mentions. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So
we're
have,
sort of building for like a
seven.
4-2-3-1, aren't we?
Yeah.
Really?
I
That's
mean-
what we're building.
Yeah, Rice and Ward-Prowse and Bellingham will play in like that holding role.
Yeah, and if you go for a 4-3-3 or a
They
3-4-3,
can all play
Mount.
in that.
can go in the middle.
Mount,
as well.
yeah.
Mount can even play 8 sometimes.
Yeah,
And this is like strikers / wingers.
Yeah.
And we put in, I think it's 7. So we've got a good amount to pick from here.
So realistically, we could probably bring Phillips back if we run out of attackers.
Yeah, if we feel like so. All these players can be brought back. We can even bring back Walker Peters or Ben White if we wanted to.
Let's have a look then.
So we have Jared Bowen, Raheem Sterling, Tammy Abraham, Harry Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Danny Ings, Jadon Sancho, Emile Smith-Rowe, Harvey Barnes, Marcus Rashford, Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins and Bukayo Saka. Straight away,
Harry Kane's
in.
Yeah.
Straight away, I would say
Raheem
Sterling's in. And also, I would say straight away Saka's in. I think he's just been too good this season.
Straight away, but
I don't straight away.
He's going to be in there eventually.
But he will be. He will
Yeah.
be. I think if should we move them from wingers to strikers as well?
Yeah.
Just so we can sort of get.
Strikers is such a hard position because it's like you're not going to rotate the striker.
We only need one behind Kane.
Yeah,
so.
that's it. You're not going to rotate the striker ever.
Yeah.
It's mainly just the wingers.
Forwards can play striker, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho.
She's not a striker.
Yeah. So let's go for strikers then.
Let's go for strikers. So first.
So
of all,
Danny Ings, I want out. Poor season.
Calvert-Lewin's been too injury prone for me this season. You never know what he's going to do, but right now I would say no.
Yeah. And if you play Calvert-Lewin, you have to play for Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
And I don't think you want a backup striker who has to have a system built around him.
I don't like Calvert-Lewin.
No.
Ivan Toney's sort of the same.
I don't know. No, I think Ivan Toney looks like he'd be a big target man, but he's not. Ivan Toney was sort of their playmaker. Has been their playmaker.
I just think it's a bit. I don't know. I wouldn't take him.
I wouldn't take him. But
all the stuff he's going on behind camera.
Yeah, that was a bit more worrying.
So it's between Abraham and Watkins.
And I think if you sub on somebody at 60 minutes at 1-1, and you're going to bank on a striker finding space in the box to get a tap in to win you the game 2-1. That's basically what these strikers are going to the tournament for. They're going to be an impact sub. Tammy Abraham is that, isn't he? Tammy Abraham is a guy who will score you a scruffy 2-1 winner. Ollie Watkins has to have a lot more interplay. He has to grow into the game.
Yeah, true.
Also got to say, if Kane gets injured, would you want Tammy Abraham playing every game?
But would you want Ollie? I think if you're playing Ollie Watkins every game, again, you have to play to a system
if Kane
that
gets
sort of
injured,
suits
I
him.
think it would play like a sort of like a false nine.
Foden up top,
maybe like someone who can run in behind, like
Foden.
Even
or Rashford.
Yeah.
But
I also think Tammy Abraham's just had a better season.
Better. So Abraham's in.
Okay.
So we've got 4 more spots.
Watkins over here.
Yeah, Watkins over here.
Yep.
Well, 4 more spots for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think there's.
So first off,
there's 2.
I think there's 3 guarantees.
Take out Harvey Barnes for me. I think he's just probably the worst.
I think take out Rashford. I don't think Rashford's 100.
And Rashford as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said with Maguire, I think at the end of the day, at one point you need punishing for poor. Like everyone knows that Rashford has the talent to be an elite winger.
Yeah.
He hasn't been for 2 years, 2.5 years now, really.
And you never know what he can do in the next.
He might in the next 6 months, but for the way it's looking, it's not. And I think he deserves to get punished for that. And that is being taken out of a World Cup squad, and he's only got himself to blame.
Yeah,
really.
I think Phil Foden and Saka.
Phil Foden
and Saka are both in for
and
me.
Grealish.
And Jack Grealish.
That leaves what?
And that leaves one more spot.
Okay, I think Saka is basically our only right winger, isn't he? Looking at that, you say Foden's better off the left, Foden, Grealish, and Sterling's better off the left. The thing is, they've sort of bought Sancho as a right winger, and they've moved him to the left because he's just played so much better on the left. So everybody's a left winger. So Saka will start every game basically. Well, actually, no, tell a complete lie. Jared Bowen is a right winger, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great one at that.
So this one's difficult. It's a good debate.
Smith-Rowe plays on the right.
Sancho.
Yeah.
So our 3 left here are Sancho, Bowen, and Smith-Rowe. All have a good argument, and I think if we're going on current form, Sancho's not in the question. But he has picked up a little bit, and he's probably the best player there. But then did he play much in the last tournament? No,
I mean, he played a bit at the Euros, but he was just poor, wasn't he?
He doesn't really. He doesn't. I know for Dortmund he was, but he doesn't really sort of cut me. I've not seen him yet for Man United or England be a big game player. I don't think he won tournaments, and I can say from experience, Jared Bowen's a big game player. And I'd probably say Emile Smith-Rowe steps up in big games as well.
Both Bowen and Smith-Rowe always play well against us. That's what I remember. And Sancho scored against us. But
I think the Sancho shout would be pretty boring, so I would like to move Sancho over here. And just say if he ups his game, then he's in. But right now, he's sort of been better than Rashford, but he's again.
Yep. I think again, if you're playing for a club like Man United and you have a stinker of a season like everybody has this year, you don't deserve to play in a World Cup. And I think if you're playing for a team, you know, who doesn't have the high expectations as West Ham, and you're playing that good, I think a player like Jared Bowen deserves a start, deserves a go. But then you think, if you're taking Bowen because he's a bit different and he's left-footed, do you need him when you've got Saka on the right? And Smith Rowe is a lot more of a playmaker than Jared Bowen, and you want Kane scoring all the goals, and you want your wingers to
let
create.
me just point this out: playmaker.
Sterling's a tapping at the back.
I need to say the names for the people watching at home. Grealish is a playmaker. Saka's a playmaker. Foden's a playmaker. Sterling.
I'd say Saka's more of a forward now.
Sterling's more of a playmaker because
Sterling's more Mount's playmaker. I mean, you say the same as Ward-Prowse, maybe Bellingham. I think Jared Bowen offers something so much different than to what we've got. He plays off the right. I wouldn't play Grealish on the right. Foden can play right, to be fair. Sterling wouldn't play on the right.
And Bowen's fitness is amazing, so for tournaments.
And I'd rather.
And he's just faster, isn't he?
I know we're just going to be biased because there's no Arsenal fans on this panel, but I think I'd rather bring Bowen off the bench. I feel like he'd be more impactful than Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
I think Smith Rowe's
he's got a better shot on him. Bowen's got a better shot on him, even though Smith Rowe has scored some good goals this year.
The only argument I'd say Smith Rowe, because if Arsenal get top 4, Smith Rowe could have a great start in the Champions League next year.
Yeah, true.
But
then we've got the Europa League and Jared Bowen will be in the.
But also, to be fair, you haven't really heard about Smith Rowe much recently. It's sort of Odegaard's been their midfielder who's sort of taken most scruff.
I feel like again Smith Rowe has a lot of not necessarily improving, but he's obviously improving. But he can grow and he will be in the England team, England starter one day probably.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like Bowen will be more impactful than Smith Rowe in this team.
Go for it. So we got So then we have 2 great right wingers, 2 great left wingers, and 2 great strikers. Well, 3 great left wingers. Foden, Grealish, and Sterling.
I think are we going to do take 2 out of this as well?
Because we have to have a 6 reserve. How many have we got there? We've got 8, haven't we?
So before we confirm our final 23 man, we've got to cut this down from 6. So on our reserves right now, we've got Smith Rowe, Sancho, Watkins, Gallagher, White, Mitchell, Walker-Peters, Phillips.
I think take Tyreek Mitchell out. I'm happy to have Walker-Peters as the backup right back and left back.
Yeah, that's a good shout actually.
I
think maybe one of Phillips or Gallagher. I feel like we wouldn't both maybe.
I think if you've got Mount and Bellingham and Foden, you don't need Gallagher.
I agree.
But if you've only got Declan Rice, you need Phillips
to come in for him. Yeah, so we all in agreement there.
Yep.
So Conor Gallagher sadly misses
Smith
out.
Rowe can sort of also do the same job as Gallagher.
Yeah.
In a way.
So this is with no injuries also, remember.
Yeah.
Our 6 reserves are Emil Smith Rowe, Jadon Sancho, Ollie Watkins, Ben White, Kyle Walker-Peters and Calvin Phillips. And now I'm going to tell you our 23-man squad. I'm quite proud of this. I think this would be.
I'm happy with this in our Euros
so far. Yeah.
I think I'm more happy with this than the Euros.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'd like obviously.
You just know this isn't going to be it though.
No. But there'll be injuries. There'll be all sorts that will happen.
Yeah. Mings is definitely going to be in there.
Yeah.
Henderson's going to be in
there.
I
think majority of people will be pretty happy with this. I mean, there'll be Man United fans screaming that Sancho's not in. There'll be Arsenal fans screaming that Smith Rowe's not in.
Yeah, but the thing is, who are you going to put Sancho in over?
Leeds fans are the worst when it comes to not picking their players, as we found out before. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think you do differently here. But
there's not a single one where it's sort of like, you know, when we put Eric Dyer, everyone was sort of like, that's a disgrace. There's not a single pick there where you can say that's like how on earth could you take Bowen? That's a disgrace. No one's going to say that.
You'll get people calling MAGUIRE a disgrace.
Yeah, but they're just
yeah.
So our goalkeepers, Dan will put this on the screen as well with editor Dan.
Yeah.
Ramsdale, Pickford, Pope. This isn't an order who we think will start. I'd personally start Pickford. We can actually pick our 11s, each 11 after this.
Yeah. I wish that you could sort of take 2 goalkeepers and have a free reserve. If one of them gets injured, you could bring him in. It doesn't count as part of your team because 3 goalkeepers and a 23. There's only 20 players to on the outside.
I feel like if 3 goalkeepers is good for like goalkeepers.
I mean, in a way, you could do that. Just if one of them gets injured, you do bring in another.
But I guess the thing is, like every single Premier League team has a third choice goalkeeper. When have you ever seen him play?
Yeah.
Like, and there's
unless
38 games a season.
Yeah, unless they're like a top 6 club, because Liverpool do it with Adrian and Kerala.
Well, Adrian doesn't really play anymore. He sort of just like warms them up. But yeah,
it is strange that it's just a given now that everybody has to take 3 goalies, even though it's very rare that you're going to get 2 injuries.
To what you just said.
Yeah, but and as you just said, it works well with goalkeeper training.
Yeah, goalkeeper training. Although you don't have to be in the squad to be like.
Yeah, you could just go and just put the cones out. Yeah,
like I think Connor Cody would be the sort of guy that would probably just still go along even if he doesn't get picked. But
we have picked 3. So
our defenders are Stones, Tamori, Maguire, Cody, Shaw, Chilwell, Walker, James, Alexander-Arnold.
Yep.
All happy there. I mean, White close, but we opted not to. But there'll be injuries. This will be different.
Walker Peters as well.
Our 4 midfielders / I mean, it's all sort of rolls into one list, but Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, James Ward-Prowse, Mason Mount. No room for Phillips or Jordan Henderson or Conor Gallagher. Let us know if you change it. And then our 2 strikers, Harry Kane, Tammy Abraham. I feel like that's pretty much what everyone would probably pick right now.
Yeah.
And then our 5 sort of like wingers / attacking midfielders. Raheem Sterling is a definite. Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Jack Grealish, and then Jared Bowen. Finishes it off. No room for Smith Rowe or Sancho.
I personally would have Jordan Henderson over Calvin Phillips in the backup.
Okay, fair enough.
I think Joe makes a good point that in December his legs are gone already. In December it's going to be even worse. And you would sort of hope that by that point Phillips is probably going to be playing for. He'd probably go at Man United, maybe.
Somewhere. He'll go somewhere. I mean, Man United.
Even though it's the Leeds to Man United thing, it's going to be dangerous.
So let's finish off.
Should we do our dream starting 11? Yeah,
right.
And see how that compares with the Euros.
You go
well.
first. You're the guest.
So I'll go Jordan Pickford. I mean,
they can't see it.
Yeah.
There's a fair shout for Ramsdale, but Jordan Pickford, no, he's not let us down.
Yeah, just pick it.
And then Kyle Walker, right back. But I'm playing 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
I'll put Walker at right back. Let's just say this is the final. I'll put Walker at right back. And I'd want to start Tamori and Stones, but I think Maguire and Stones would be a better partnership. But I want to see some bit of Tamori.
Well, we'll discuss it after, but if you just pick it, then we'll see what you all did differently.
Then I'll put Rice and Bellingham.
Who you on left back, Shaw or Chilwell?
Shaw, yeah. And then Rice and Bellingham, two centre mids. Obviously Rice a bit deeper, and then I'd also play Mount as the number 10, and then play Harry Kane up top, obviously, and then Foden and Saka. Oh no! If it's a final,
it's not a final. Just pick the squad.
Anyway,
I'd
say Foden and Sterling. I wouldn't start Saka. Foden and Sterling.
Okay, well I would go Pickford in goal like Louis. I'd go Maguire, Stones, Kyle Walker, and Luke Shaw. I'd go 4-3-3/4-2-3-1, so you can sort of like change formations depending on what is suiting the game style. And I'd go Rice and Bellingham in the middle, and I'd just put Foden ahead of them, but he can sort of hold in if he wants to and be sort of like that 8 linking play, that player there. And then I'd go Saka on the right, Sterling on the left, Kane up top. So I think it's pretty similar to yours.
I forgot about. I'd definitely put Foden over Mount now, seeing Foden over Cam. So I'd change one. Foden over Mount.
No, you had Saka out, Louis.
Yeah, no, and then take Saka and put Saka in.
Saka
and Mount out.
So the same as me.
What did you have? Shaw left back.
Yeah.
I would go for Pickford in goal.
Yeah.
I would go Trent at right back. Just I think he's the best right back there. He's the best right back in the world, really.
Yeah.
I'd go Chilwell at left back because I can see Chilwell starting the season better off than Shaw.
Yeah.
I think Tamori is too clunky on the ball to be partnered with Stones, where they're quite similar centre backs. So I'd go Stones and Maguire, as you said. I'd go 4-3-3 because I don't think Foden or Mount are good at 10s, to be honest. Because I just think the fact that Chelsea and Man City haven't played with a number 10 for about 5 years does go against them. So I do a 4-3-3 with Rice, Bellingham, Mount. And right wing, I would go Saka because I think he's the best natural right winger. Striker's obviously Harry Kane. And then left wing, it's either Foden. Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Foden, Sterling, or Grealish. I literally would be happy with either. I wouldn't. That's the best thing about this squad is that no matter what changes you make, I don't think any of us would be angry about any of the changes.
Yeah.
So I'd just go Sterling because I think he's a big game player.
Yeah. Obviously, apart from the goalkeepers, outfield, the only one I wouldn't want starting in this team would be Tammy Abraham, maybe, because that would.
Yeah.
Other than that,
And he's the least likely out of the whole team to
if
start.
If Kane gets injured, I might play Sterling in through the middle.
I'd play Foden in the middle.
Or Foden through the middle. Yeah.
He's
One of those two can both play middle.
Haven't you even played Bowen as a striker this season?
Bowen can play up front. He's great from getting in behind. To be fair, I think sometimes he has better games up front than on the right.
Yeah.
It's more like sometimes he can go a little bit missing on
He's
the right.
got a great shot on him, hasn't he?
Yeah. So even Jared Bowen can be a backup.
I wouldn't put Bowen on
No, I think Bowen off the bench for me.
If you got Trent in the team, I wouldn't play Bowen.
What?
I don't.
Why would that?
I just don't think because Bowen doesn't really get back, to be honest, does he? He only gets back if he personally. If he personally
he's
loses.
not Pablo Fornals, but he's not a defensive winger. But there's no defensive wingers here really. Saka maybe.
If Walker's there, I'd happily put Bowen out there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. You've heard our 23-man squad, which I'm quite proud of. We look forward to do this again in November. Make sure you tune into that.
I'm going to throw a random curveball out here. Let's go for your biggest wild card. So a player who we haven't even contemplated, but you think is most likely in 6 months. Like Louis, you might say Noni Madueke. Madueke might just have such an unbelievable 6 months that it's impossible to ignore him. Who would you go for?
No one here.
So none of these players.
Yeah, I'd say.
No, you can go those piles.
Yeah, this part. I mean, yeah.
I think Dewsbury Hall could be it.
Yeah.
I like watching Dewsbury. Yeah,
The thing is, Dewsbury Hall could easily be exchanged
Yeah.
with Ward-Prowse or somebody,
Yeah.
couldn't he? If he has a really good 6 months.
Potentially. I'll go Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes.
Just if Harvey Barnes scored as unreal starts next season, he's sort of up there for the shout.
I think I'm going to go for Ivan Toney because I think he's going to move to a team like Arsenal and have a very good because that system seems perfectly good. Because basically Ivan Toney plays exactly like Lacazette, just a lot better and a lot better physically.
Yeah, all very good shouts.
Yeah.
And Tony's probably an Arsenal fan as well.
Yeah, probably.
I think he is actually.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. We'll put the 23-man squad back on the screen now so you can see it in full. Comment what you do differently. And yeah, next week, I don't know if we'll film next week, but we'll definitely be doing more end of season build up. Plus, there'll be lots of big games coming up: Champions League, Europa League, Premier League. There's still lots to play for, so we've still got lots to talk about. And yeah, let's leave it there. I've lost what I was saying. But Louis, where's the outro?
It's here.